I have been loving Beseech the Mirror into Song of Creation so much in Legacy that we're doing it here today in Modern. Let's go draw our entire deck. This is it. This is Song of Creation combo in Modern. What is Song of Creation? Well, it's a 4-mana enchantment for a colorless blue-green-red, and whenever you cast a spell, you draw 2 cards. You can play an extra land every turn. At the end of your turn, you have to discard your hand. And one of the biggest issues with this deck was always consistency. Today we have 4 copies of Beseech the Mirror to act as copies 5 through 8. And in order to get the most effective use out of this 4-mana enchantment, we're playing it alongside a bunch of free spells like this Engineered Explosives, Pact of Negation, the Summoner's Pact, and Mishra's Bauble. That way we can continue to draw a ton of free cards. How we make mana is actually a little bit awkward, so we have to play a spell that costs 0, such as this Mishra's Bauble, and then counterspell it using an offer you can't refuse. Not exactly the most intuitive thing, but that's how we make mana in this deck. And eventually we cast a whole bunch of spells and then Grape Shot our opponent for lethal or win using Thassa's Oracle. You can also Endurance Loop your entire deck in order to get back the Grape Shot or the Thassa's Oracle or whatever. This is just a great card in the deck because you never deck yourself, or I mean, you at least get more draws. I mean, you could still theoretically deck yourself, but you get more draws. It, gives you back your win conditions. It's a free spell off the Summoner's Pact, so that way you draw 4 cards for free. This deck is just really synergistic, and honestly, I'm just really excited to draw my entire deck today. So enough of me rambling in this deck tech. Let's just hop on into match number 1, and you can see it in action. I'll see you there. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can also show your support by becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks such as badges, emotes, early access to videos, exclusive members-only content, and access to our members Discord section. As you increase the tiers, there are other rewards such as shop discounts, sideboard guides, and even free donation decks. Click the join button down below to find out more. We also have other ways you can support us, like theepicstorm.com/shop or submitting a donation deck via theepicstorm.com/donation decks. That's enough for now. Let's play some Magic. Welcome to the first match. Our opponent has revealed a Gigantha. We are going to keep this hand. We have Song of Creation. We have some packs. All I really need to do is find mana. We have 2 mana. We have a Bauble for a redraw. I mean, this could theoretically be a turn 2, probably a turn 3. And our opponent is mulligan to 3, so they're likely on Tron. They play Basic Forest, Chromatic Star. Yeah, this is Tron. Typically a pretty good matchup for us. An offer you can't refuse. Wow. So if I draw land, this could be a turn 2. Let's go fetch out our breeding pool. Yes, I'd like to pay 2 life. So I'm going to hold priority here, and I'm going to cast Summoner's Pact. And then I'm going to cast an offer you can't refuse. We'll play Mishra's... Oh, come on. I really want to draw a land here. We'll play the Bauble. Maybe that was a mistake, because now I don't have a free spell for next turn, but I was thinking that I want to draw the land. I don't know. We'll just hope to rip double land, I guess. Or land free spell. Well, there's the land. Okay, so now we're just another land or a free spell away. They play Ancient Stirrings. Maybe I was supposed to be greedy and just pray to top deck the land. Even though we're a 18 land deck and 2 of the lands were out. I just really want to turn 2. When I entered this league, I was like, it's probably not going to happen. I shouldn't mention it in the deck tech, and now here we are. Alright, so they're just playing a tower and passing. Come on, deck. Give me land. There we go. Okay. So we will fetch. We can just grab the basic forest here. And now blue, green, red, white. We'll play Song of Creation. And now we can play Avern Catacombs. We will fetch and go grab the Stomping Ground. Ouch. Match 1, game 1, we have a potential for a turn 2 win. We're going to cast this Strike It Rich. We'll draw 2 cards. And now we're going to Pact of Negation the Strike It Rich. We're going to hold priority on that. We'll draw 2. And now I'm going to Pact of Negation my Pact of Negation. Okay, so we didn't hit a whole lot of zeros here. So I could be dead. We can replay Strike It Rich, but we might have fizzled. So now we make a treasure. I need to hit here off this Strike It Rich or else we're dead. I think we're dead. Our opponent mulled the 3 and I gave them the W. That's a bummer. So I guess I can play... No, I have to discard my hand at the end of the turn. I'm just flat out dead. I mean, I swung for the fences and I missed. So, yeah, I mean, it happens. I mean, we got to partially do the thing. Didn't quite work, though. So we're facing Tron. I don't even know... Like, I think the Pact of Negations in our deck are better than Force of Vigors. We don't really need the Veil of Summers, I don't think. Those can probably get sided out. And I'd rather just have, like, Endurance or Mind Collapse. Both of those would be better. I guess I'll bring in the Endurance. They're free spells, they help us combo. Let's try it. That was a brutal game number 1. Alright, so we have both of our win conditions, which is not ideal. I think you're supposed to mulligan this. This is fine, we'll keep. Get rid of a Striker Rich. Okay, we'll fetch. We'll grab Overgrown Tomb. Play Utopia Sprawl on the Overgrown Tomb. We'll pick black. Pass the turn. So I could play out this Engineered Explosives for 0, because it's a card we can bargain away, but it would also stop a Chalice of the Void on 0. If they sided in the Singleton Chalice and happen to have it, you got me. There's not a whole lot I can do about that. We draw Breeding Pool. I'm going to fetch here. This time we'll grab Stomping Ground. Ouch. And we'll play the Striker Rich. Pass the turn. They have an Urza's Mine. And they're going to pass. So they're holding open a Chromatic Star. So if they have a Beseech, they could blow out my Song of Creation, but they could also have a Warping Whale. We'll play the Breeding Pool. This taps for black. I think we want to leave the Breeding Pool open. I could be wrong. And then we'll sacrifice the treasure. And then we'll cast Beseech the... Actually, hold on. I guess because I can play an extra land and I have another Breeding Pool in hand, I should leave open the Stomping Ground. Alright, now we'll cast Beseech the Mirror. It resolves. We'll grab Song of Creation. Play the song. And now we will cast Engineered Explosives for 0. Draw 2 cards. They have the Beseech. That's a bummer. Alright. We'll grab another Overgrown Tomb. They draw a card off the Chromatic Star. We draw 2 cards. Double Summoner's Pact. Don't think I want to cast that one. We'll pass the turn. Our opponent plays a basic forest into Sylvan Scrying. And an Expedition map. Okay. We draw for the turn. It's an offer you can't refuse. I'm going to play the Breeding Pool. And then we can flashback Striker Rich. This means that we have triple black if we draw into another Beseech the Mirror. Sure, you can have a Wondering. I don't care about that right now. We are so far away from winning. And we have a Thassa's Oracle in our deck. Like, this just doesn't matter. We draw another land. We will pass the turn. They grab another Beseech. Yeah, it's going to be tough for us to win from this spot. They draw 2 cards. They now have 9 cards in hand. Karn the Great Creator. I think I have to counterspell this. We'll cast the offer. They play an Expedition map. Okay. I was supposed to do this on the end step, but I didn't. So I guess we'll grab the forest instead of the Stomping Ground. We draw Endurance. We'll just pass the turn. They now have 10 cards in hand. This is not looking good for us. And another Karn the Great Creator. I think I'm going to call it. Like, we're just so far away from being able to win this game. Unfortunately, we fizzled in the first game. And, well, we got destroyed in the second game. So I think, honestly, this is not me trying to be overly negative. We could see more of that this league. This deck is not the most resilient thing. It's super fun, but hopefully Beseech the Mirror's turned it around and I'm wrong. Let's find out in match number 2. Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. They support over 30 formats, including Legacy and many other Eternal formats. There are so many options to view decks the way that you want, from text view to individual cards, mana value, and even card price. There's also light mode and dark mode. My personal favorite feature is card tags. This way you can sort cards by function. Moxfield supports collection tracking, Scryfall search, decklist feedback, and so much more. Follow me on Moxfield.com so you can stay updated on all of my decks. Alright, let's try it again. Match number 2. Well, Basic Forest looking a little bit awkward here. I think if this was a fetch land, this hand would be a keep. We probably have to mulligan this. This is interesting. We'll keep. Get rid of Beseech. Our opponent taking a mulligan to 5. We'll play a breeding pool. Ouch. We will hold priority on our Mishra's Bauble, then offer it. Okay, pass the turn. Our opponent plays a Scalding Tarn. Blood Crypt. Thoughtseize. I'm going to let it resolve. I understand that I could offer here, but I think if I offer this, it just doesn't make sense. So I'm going to choose to just let my Beseech be discarded. Summoner's Pact. I'm going to just pass the turn. Spirebluff Canal. Okay, so they're not Rakdos Scam. Use my Misty Rainforest. Grab an Overgrown Tomb. So this is likely some sort of Bowmaster deck, and obviously when you're playing Song of Creation and trying to draw your whole deck, Bowmaster becomes a little bit awkward. We do have 2 main deck Veil of Summers to get around it, but I mean, you have to have the extra mana, and it's not always the case, so I mean, the Veil of Summers are actually pretty good because they stop the Orcish Bowmasters. They also beat Chalice of the Void on 0. So I think having a couple of those in the main deck just makes a lot of sense. Our opponent plays a Preordain. They put 2 cards on top. That is terrifying. They play a Steam Vents and a Dragon's Rage Channeler. So we draw an Endurance. I mean, we could surprise block something, I guess. They play an Expressive Iteration. Watery Grave gets surveilled to the graveyard. Unholy Heat. That's a risky one for me to play this turn. Play into this turn. So I think I'm going to sit on this Endurance. Oh, they're going to bolt me. Interesting. Do I block the Bowmasters or the Channeler? I think it's supposed to be the Bowmasters. Okay. Now we'll go to blocks and get rid of this Orcish Bowmasters. They have 2 cards in hand. Thassa's Oracle. Not a super great draw here. We'll pass the turn. Another Expressive Iteration. They play Steam Vents. They're at 11. They had another Unholy Heat. So our Endurance is going to die here. I mean, I could offer it, I suppose. Buys me a lot of time. Let's try that. They're going to swing. We will block, get rid of this Dragon's Rage Channeler, and we'll take 1 damage going down to 6. I have 2 cards in hand. Play a Bauble. Let's look at their top card. Fell Pierce. Alright. I'm going to choose to believe that we can be the beatdown deck. We'll play our Thassa's Oracle. Keep the land on top. We probably need more mana. Attack for 3. I am the beatdown. They have 3 cards in hand, one of which is a Spell Pierce. Well, there's a Song of Creation. So if I swing with the Oracle, they have to block next turn. So do we think there's a difference between being at 5 or 6? Not really. But I guess I fetch down to 4. I don't know. I'm going to leave the Oracle back. Interesting. They're blocking with the Orc Army. Okay. I guess Ragavan is a concern. You draw a Pact of Negation. Okay. Let's swing for 4. This puts them in check. Pass the turn. Wow. I'll take it. We haven't got a Song of Creation win yet, but we have attacked for lethal. Crazy. Alright, we probably want these Veil of Summers. What to board out? I think we're not looking to be as explosive, so I'm going to shave the Engineered Explosives, and we'll try this. Game number 2, our opponent, mulligans. I think we'll keep. Mulligans with this deck are extremely punishing, so I think we want to try reasonable hands when we have them. They play Spirebluff Canal. We draw a Veil of Summer. Let's just play a Windswept Heath and pass. Song of Creation. I'm glad I didn't fetch on the end step. Alright, so we'll fetch now. Grab an Overgrown Tomb. Ouch. Play Utopia Sprawl. We'll say red. Pass the turn. Okay, so they have double blue-red land. No black mana yet. Expressive Iteration. And they find an Orcish Bowmasters. And they're playing Watery Grave. Untapped. Not a big fan of that. We find a Strike It Rich. Play the Utopia Sprawl. I'm going to say red again. We'll pass. I could have tried to win on the last turn, but I just don't feel like Mishra's Bauble plus Pact Negation is enough. Right, so they dash a Ragavan. They will get back another land or another mana source here, so they will go up to at least 2 mana. They hit our top card, which was a Veil of Summer. Okay. They have 2 mana open. I think now's the time for us to try to win. An offer you can't refuse. That was a good one. So we're going to play Song of Creation floating a red. They play Counter Spell. We will play our Pact of Negation. Song of Creation? Lovely. We'll cast Striker Rich and draw 2. We'll play our Misty. Let's fetch. Go grab Breeding Pool. And now we'll play the Mishra's Bauble. We draw 2. And then let's offer you can't refuse on the Bauble. And then if I play Veil of Summer, I get to draw 2 and we get to keep the Bauble, but I don't think keeping the Bauble matters. And I think maybe I was supposed to use the treasure token previously, so that way my Utopia Sprawls can make mana on another land. But if I'm going to play a green spell just to draw cards, I might as well keep the Mishra's Bauble, I think. I'm not really sure if this is the right move. Well, now I can draw a card off the Active Negation. So let's let the Veil of Summer resolve. And then we'll counterspell the offer, which doesn't matter because it's going to fizzle. We will still get our 2 treasure tokens. And I think now we have to let this stack clear. We get our Mishra's Bauble. Ooh, apparently we still have a land drop. Okay, so let's go get our forest. Enough taking unnecessary damage. We'll play Mishra's Bauble. Firm is 9. Another offer. We might as well cast that. We'll offer the Bauble. Storm is 10. We're now up to 4 mana. Play another Bauble. Draw a pair of lands. So the nice thing here is when we play these Utopia Sprawls, they're mana neutral because we have an untapped land. We'll make black. And then we'll play another Utopia Sprawl. We can name blue on this one. There's an Endurance. Let's cast the Endurance, exiling Song of Creation. We'll target ourselves. Endurance will shuffle itself back in as well. Cast this Summoner's Pact. Turn 15. We'll grab another Endurance. Cast the Endurance, exiling Song of Creation, I guess. I probably messed up a little bit here. I probably should have offered a couple spells ago, but c'est la vie. Mistakes happen. I make mistakes all the time. Welcome to Magic the Gathering. Alright, so let's tap this now for mana. We'll play a Wild Cantor. Firm is 17. We could now cast Beseech the Mirror for lethal, assuming I didn't accidentally draw the Grape Shot. Alright, I'm going to Pact. We'll draw 2. I'll offer my Pact. We'll Pact my offer. Now it's just drawing our deck or finding Grape Shot, whatever happens first. We make a couple treasures. We'll cast another offer. We'll pack that. Sacrifice a treasure. We'll cast another offer. Storm is 24 now. Oh, there's the Grape Shot. Okay, we can let the stack clear. Let's go. We'll sacrifice the Wild Cantor because I can. Let's cast Grape Shot. Firm 25. Our opponent says GG's opponent. Hopefully they appreciated this. I mean, their username has Storm in it, so there's a good chance they also had some fun here. All right, match number 3 coming up in just a second. We are 1-1. Looking to make playing your favorite combo deck much easier? Look no further than the Epic Storm Mini Token Combo Pack, which is available at theepicstorm.com/shop for $14.99. This combo token pack comes with 84 double-sided tokens. That includes our classic Storm and mana tokens, as well as fan favorites such as Goblins, Squirrels, and Slime Time Live. But that's not all. We've expanded this token pack to cover a variety of formats with new tokens. Stop on by theepicstorm.com/shop and make an easy decision to elevate your combo game. Round number 3, we're on the draw, and I'm going to keep this. No clue what our opponent's playing. Another Spire Bluff Canal deck. Not sure if I love that, but welcome to Modern. Song of Creation, a very good draw. Let's play the Strike It Rich, and we'll pass. Our opponent is attacking. We go to 16, and passing. Interesting. We'll play a tapped Overgrown Tomb. Pass the turn. They found their second land. They play another Dragon's Rage Channeler. So that means that they're holding open Spell Pierce. Because they could have played this Channeler last turn and they didn't. We draw another land. I'm going to flash back this Striker Rich. Didn't see that coming. Okay. We will pass the turn. I mean, I could have gone for it if I had drawn something this game that wasn't more lands. I guess, like, that's not fair. I drew a Song of Creation that I wanted. But we needed to draw something that wasn't lands, you know, 4 and 5. They play a Fairy, that's fine. One has 3 cards in hand. We're at 12. We draw an Explosives. I mean, I think it's probably time to go for it. Grab the Breeding Pool. And I mean, we have Utopia Sprawl in the deck, so the question is, am I supposed to be leaving a land open? I don't think so. Because if I even cast Sprawl, I have to tap a mana. Yeah, maybe I'm wrong. This deck's very tough to play. Play Song of Creation. Hopefully they don't have a counterspell and that this is just a bluff. It appears that they do. We will cast Pact of Negation. Okay, well, we need to draw some good cards here. We will cast Engineered Explosives for 0. Draw 2 cards. Wild Cantor. Let's fetch out a land. Grab a Breeding Pool. Play the Wild Cantor. It is a green card, which makes me a little bit nervous, but it also replaces itself. With this still on the stack, I'm going to Endurance. We drew the Utopia Sprawl. I'll Pact of Negation the Endurance. Things are looking a little bit dicey right now. I'm currently regretting tapping my land again like a dummy. We'll draw 2. Another Utopia Sprawl. Sheesh. Okay, so I guess I'll sacrifice this and I'll cast the Utopia Sprawl. We just fizzled. Ah, very frustrating. I mean, it's my own fault. No one to blame but myself here. Yeah, we're just dead. Because I could have had 1 extra mana. So let's play the other Utopia Sprawl. We would have drawn a Bauble. Yeah, we... okay. I threw. This game should have been a win. I'm just so used to... And this is my own personal issue. I'm so used to the fact that a lot of the times when you play Magic, you want to conserve resources. Because, like, there's no reason to use a Lotus Petal if you could use a land. And that's just, like, built into how my brain works. And this deck doesn't want to do that, and it's tough breaking the pattern. So I will try to be better moving forward. I think we probably want Veil of Summer. Let's try shaving 2 Summoner's Pact. It's not really a card we want a whole lot of. I think I'm going to keep this. It's a little bit sketchy. But we have 8 4-mana cards we want to see. So I like that we have the Endurance to trip up their creatures. That's pretty good for us. Play the Sprawl. I'll name Black. Pass the turn. Turn 1 Steam Vents into Ragavan. Pact of Negation. We'll pass. They play a Channeler. Surveil. Okay. We want to wait until they declare attackers. And now we'll use this Misty Rainforest. Grab an Overgrown Tomb. Tap for green. We'll flash in the Endurance. Target our opponent. We'll go to blocks and kill the Ragavan. They now play Preordain. They use Mishra's Bauble, and their creature now is Delirium. We draw a Strike It Rich. It's an interesting one. I guess we'll shock here. Play the Strike It Rich. Wild Cantor. We'll pass. Currently, their creature has to attack into our Endurance. Expressive Iteration. They find a Polluted Delta and a Mishra's Bauble. They attack, we'll block. Their creature has to attack if you didn't know. It looks like maybe they found a Lightning Bolt. I'm thinking that maybe I want to Pact of Negation this. I'd have to tap out next turn, sacrificing my treasure and my Wild Cantor. But I don't know. I think this is probably the move. Alright, so they'll draw a card and then we have to pay for the Pact of Negation. So the Wild Cantor can make blue. We'll sacrifice the treasure. And then we'll tap this Overgrown Tomb. Draw for turn. It's a Summoner's Pact. Get in there. They play another Dragon's Rage Channeler. This looks like a Murktide Regent. They have a big dragon. We draw Beseech, but we can't cast it at the moment. We could next turn. So we'll flashback this Strike It Rich. And pass. They have 2 cards. I'm going to block the dragon. I think Endurance being in the graveyard is better than it being in play if I'm trying to win. Alright, be good to me, deck. Please. I guess I'll fetch first. Grab the Overgrown Tomb. Bargain away the Utopia Sprawl. They fetch using Flooded Strand for a Steam Vents. Well, Pact of Negation. I guess we should let their Surveil happen. Alright, now we will Pact of Negation. Does Beseech the Mirror resolve? Your last card's a Fluster. Ay, 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 ay. We are dead. Okay, we are now 1-2. If you're still watching, make sure to give this video a like, comment, and subscribe. While you're near the description, here's a reminder to use our affiliate links if you're going to make a purchase from Amazon, Card Hoarder, or TCG Player. Just above those affiliate links, you'll find our social channels. Make sure to join those to connect with us. We are back for match number 4 on the draw again, and we're going to keep. Okay, so our opponent's played a tapped Sacred Foundry. We draw Strike It Rich. I think I'm going to play this Strike It Rich instead of the Wild Cantor for 2 reasons. 1, we have an Endurance in our hand. We could theoretically exile the Wild Cantor and, you know, cast our Endurance that way. The second reason is our opponent has a Sacred Foundry. These are 2 colors with a lot of creature removal in them. Our opponent miracles a Thunderous Wrath. Holy moly. Okay. We will take 5. We're at 12. They skewer the critics and we're at 9. Another Song of Creation. So that is a green card I can pitch to the Endurance. We're going to play the Wild Cantor. Because it also allows us to not have to draw a land to play the Song of Creation next turn. I'm going to choose to sit on this Mishra's Bauble because I think we probably need it in order to win. I could have cycled it here. I realize that. I'm choosing to believe that Wild Cantor will live or we will draw a land. We will sacrifice our Wild Cantor. And they're passing. Alright, deck, looking for a land. That sort of does it. So I'm going to hold priority on this Bauble. We'll cast Offer. And now we can play Song of Creation. We'll play the song. And I'm going to cast Endurance. We draw 2 cards. With Endurance on this stack, I'm going to cast Summoner's Pact. We draw an Offer. Okay, what should I do here? I believe I'm supposed to let the Summoner's Pact resolve. We'll grab an Endurance. And then counter this Endurance. And then we will Pact our Pact. Hard to believe I haven't drawn a land yet. Okay, we'll let the stack clear. Target myself. I want to hold on to this Bauble for this Offer. So I think I'm going to Endurance right now. Just trying to draw lands. Come on, deck. We will Pact. There's our first land. Alright. So this puts me to 6. I guess I could just grab the Forest. Let's do that. Play the Wild Cantor. We'll draw 2. And then we'll sacrifice the Wild Cantor to cast Strike It Rich. And now we'll cast the Mishra's Bauble. And then we will offer the Bauble. That happens. We'll fetch down to 5. Grab a Stomping Ground. And now I'll cast the Utopia Sprawl on the Stomping Ground. We'll say blue. Cast the Summoner's Pact. Grab Endurance. Cast the Endurance, exiling Veil of Summer. We'll target ourselves. Play Mishra's Bauble. Cast another Summoner's Pact. Grab an Endurance. Play another Bauble. Sacrifice this treasure. We'll play another Utopia Sprawl. We'll say red. Firm is now 20. We'll play a Strike It Rich. And let's just Grave Shot them. Firm is 22. Sweet. Leyline of Sanctity is decent against Burn. We'll take out the Veil of Summers. We probably don't need Oracle versus them, so we can board that out for another Leyline. Which is maybe something I should have been doing in some previous matches. I don't know. Boarding out the Oracle when you don't need a second win condition. Let's try shaving 1 Beseech the Mirror for the 4th Leyline. Let's go. This is a weird one. Definitely a weird one. Our opponent is taking a mulligan. I would have to draw running mana sources. I'm going to hope that Leyline is good enough. But a pair of Leylines into play. And our opponent concedes! Yes! We are now 2-2. 1 match left to go. Turn 0 win! With Card Hoarder, renting your favorite combo deck has never been easier. There isn't a more affordable solution for Magic Online. Want to play the deck in this video? Check out the pinned comment below to easily rent the deck from Card Hoarder. Did you know you can rent the Epic Storm from Card Hoarder for as little as 7 tickets a week? We've made it simple to do so by including a button to rent the entire deck at theepicstorm.com/decklist. The fifth and final round, we are here and on the play. Yeah, this hand seems decent. We'll keep. We'll lead on the Overgrown Tomb, and then we'll play Utopia Sprawl. Play blue. Pass the turn. Basic Forest, okay. We draw a Veil of Summer. We'll play the Wild Cantor, and then pass the turn. So right now we have 4 mana, which is great, but we either need to draw 0 or another land. Wall of Roots. So they're on Yawgmoth. Not fetching because I want to draw a land. Or 0. Another Song of Creation, huh? A little awkward. I think we're supposed to pass. Endlehaven? Sure. Orcish Bowmasters. That is not ideal. So if I use this Veil of Summer, we only have 1 more. So if I Veil here, I need to draw running lands. And there would only be 1 Veil left in the deck. I think I'm going to. I just have to hope because this sets me multiple turns behind if I don't Veil this. Sheesh. Okay. Holy moly. That's devastating. I don't think we're going to be able to win this one. This would have won the game last turn. So I'm not saying it's impossible to win, but we would have to draw the other Veil of Summer and a land very quickly. Assuming we even drew a land. Another Summoner's Pact. We are forced to pass the turn. Our opponent plays a Strangler Root Geist. We're taking 7. Yeah, this does not look like a realistic opportunity for us. Okay, next game. We probably want the Ley Lines. They stop Orcish Bowmasters, but they also stop things like Thoughtseize, so I think we're interested in those. We probably don't need the Thassa's Oracle. That can get sided out. We'll Sheev on Beseech the Mirror. We'll board out the explosives and I'll board in 1 more Veil of Summer. Let's try this. On the play for game 2. Cannot keep that. I mean, it doesn't have a Song of Creation, but the rest of the hand is decent, so we'll try it. Play the Wooded Foothills, Mishra's Bauble. Target ourselves. We don't need another land, we'll fetch. Another Leyline of Sanctity, classic. Turn 1 Delighted Halfling. We draw Strike It Rich. Let's go grab an Overgrown Tomb. Play the Strike It Rich. And we'll pass. Another Delighted Halfling. And a Young Wolf. We'll take 1. We draw Breeding Pool. I mean, we just have to draw one of the 6 cards at this point that wins the game. So, kind of just waiting. Flashback the Strike It Rich. Pass. You might have been saying, like, why did you keep in Pact of Negation? Which is a fair question, and I could be, you know, wrong for wanting to keep it in. But I think that you want that effect for things like Force of Vigor on your combo turn, but also just, like, it helps you win. It's a 0 that you can play on your own spells. I think it's very relevant. The Haywire Might is a problem for us. I don't know if we can even beat this. Well, I say that, and then I draw the Beseiju. Okay. We will pass. They use the Haywire Might on the Leyline of Sanctity. That's fine. So now they're attacking for 3. We go to 11. We draw Utopia Sprawl. Things are not looking great for us. Say white, and I think I'm just going to cast this other Leyline. Pass the turn. Our opponent flashes in an Endurance, so that's 6 damage coming in. I am very close to being dead. Okay. I'm at 5. Now or never. Our opponent has 1 card in hand. We draw, and it's a Song of Creation. How about that? Play the Beseiju. Play the song. And we'll cast Summoner's Pact. Draw 2 cards. Yikes. What a first 2 to draw. Grab Wild Cantor. Play the Wild Cantor. Another Summoner's Pact. Okay. Let's fetch out a land. Actually, I don't think I actually want to. I mean, with this Blood Artist in play, this targets a player, so actually this won't affect me with Leyline. And we draw 2 lands. Continues to be awkward. We'll grab the other Wild Cantor. Sacrifice this one. They have to target themselves, but it's a break even. We'll play Wild Cantor again. We'll draw 2. Okay, we will fetch. I'm going to take some life loss here. Sacrifice the Wild Cantor. Play Utopia Sprawl on the Stomping Ground. We will say blue. Sacrifice the treasure token and we'll cast Striker Itch. We draw Endurance, that's good. Play the Endurance for free. Cast the Pact of Negation. And now we'll sacrifice the treasure token for a green. We'll play Utopia Sprawl on the untap land. We'll make black, I guess? Maybe that's wrong. Play the Bauble. Summoner's Pact. So if I tap this for green, I can Veil of Summer and then offer You Can't Refuse. And now we'll offer. And this should lock up the game. Grab the Endurance. Okay. Endurance ourselves. We'll cast another Summoner's Pact. This will be Storm 16. Grab another Endurance. We'll cast the Endurance. Draw 2. Pact the Endurance. And then pact our pact. And then we'll pact that pact. Storm 20. And then we'll pact that pact. Storm 21. And now Endurance happens. We'll shuffle in those 5 cards. And then we'll use a treasure and we'll finally cast the Grape Shot. This is the first time this league that we're going to a game number 3. Sweet. Alright, let's try it again. Our opponent has kept 7 cards. We've opened up a Beseech hand with a Bauble. We have double Song of Creation. My fear is that we're just so far away from ever casting this song. I'm going to mulligan. This seems like a reasonable hand. Get rid of Wild Cantor. Put the Leyline into play. Turn 1 Delighted Halfling. Striker Rich, okay. Grab the Stomping Ground. We'll play Utopia Sprawl. I'm going to say red, because that means that next turn I can Utopia Sprawl and Striker Rich. Our opponent plays a Grist the Hunger Tide. They mill a land and create an insect token. We draw another Striker Rich. We'll play Utopia Sprawl. I'm going to say black. And this is just in case I draw into the Beseech the Mirror. I know there's only 2 of them in the deck, but I want to make sure that I can cast them. Wall of Roots. They use the Grist. They mill an Eldritch Evolution. That's a card they definitely wanted to draw. They play another Delighted Halfling. Okay. I'll take 2. I believe a Song Off the Top could be lethal here. I guess they'd have to draw a land. Well, we drew the Beseech. So, I mean, it's a little risky, but we'll play the Striker Rich. Actually, is it risky? Because Summoner's Pact can just get Endurance. That gives me multiple looks. Yeah, we're going for it. We'll cast Beseech the Mirror. Get rid of Utopia Sprawl. Here goes nothing. Song of Creation. Summoner's Pact. This draws 2. We have 2 land drops this. Well, now we have to go grab an Endurance. Play the Endurance. Okay. Target myself. Play the Breeding Pool. Ouch. Play Mishra's Bauble. We draw 2. I will pact that Bauble. Draw 2 more. And then we can offer the Pact of Negation. Yeah, I believe we have this game now. We'll play the Overgrown Tomb. Ouch. Cast a Mishra's Bauble. Okay. Another Bauble. An offer. Let's play the offer. Firm is 11. Cast Striker Rich. Firm is now 12. Play the Wild Cantor. Firm 13. Sacrifice it for green. We'll play Utopia Sprawl on the Overgrown Tomb. Have it make blue. We'll play Endurance, exiling Song of Creation. We'll pact the Endurance. And then pact the Pact. Tap the land for black, I guess. No, it should probably be for green. We'll offer the Pact of Negation. Cast a Summoner's Pact. Okay, we can let everything resolve now. And then we will offer that Pact. And now Endurance happens. Okay, so now we just have to find the Grape Shot wherever it is. Play the Wild Cantor. Storm is 22. And it would appear that I don't have the Grape Shot yet. I mean, I could Beseech the Mirror for it, but I'm not going to do that. Let's cast Summoner's Pact. We'll grab Wild Cantor, because, I mean, I can just draw my deck. I mean, that's what we came here to do tonight. Play Strike It Rich. And our opponent concedes. We got the 3-2. How about that? Okay, so what did I think? I was actually a little unimpressed with Beseech the Mirror. I expected it to be much better than how it ended up playing out. If I were to play this deck again, I think I would just play 4 Preordains and really rework the deck from there. I think that Beseech the Mirror was just a little more clunky than I expected. It's not good when you draw it mid-combo. It's pretty much a dead card, and I didn't like that aspect. And if you're not playing Beseech the Mirror, you probably don't have to play Utopia Sprawl, which opens up the deck for other cards for consistency purposes. So you also aren't locked into an all-forest mana base, so I would look into Preordain. That is my next step if I were to play this deck. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I would greatly appreciate your input. Have a great day. Keep storming. Hey you, yeah you, make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you're interested, you can visit theepicstorm.com/donation-decks to see your combo deck here on this very YouTube channel. You can even join me in a video in the Epic tier. It's totally worth it, I promise. And see ya. Thanks for watching.